Daddy, are you making something with Milliput again?
Today I'm going to be making this pawn out of marbled Milliput, and I'm also going to be reviewing and using the Easy Chuck by Easy Wood Tools. Stay tuned and see how I got on. I love getting parcels. Oh, and Neville, what are you doing on my parcel? I especially love parcels that have words like this on. Easy Wood Tools. Let's see what's inside. So let's have a look, see what we got. Look at that. The Easy Chuck. Brilliant bit of kit. Really looking forward to using that. And some jaws to go with it. The 16-inch big easy jaws, bowl reversing jaws, fantastic. I've got a 16-inch throw on the lathe, so ideal. And if I rotate the headstock, then I'll be able to use these, which are the 20-inch jaw extensions, which are just fantastic, brilliant. They are 1/2-inch easy reach dovetail jaws, 1 3/8 easy reach dovetail jaws, a 1/2 easy stepped dovetail jaws. Let's see what we got in the box. Instructions, which I shall have a good look at later. Dual worm screw, so you got the 2 different thicknesses on that, and the chuck with the standard jaws, 2-inch jaws. Heavy bit of kit, that is a serious bit of kit. Very nicely made, everything's rounded off, nice rounded corners on everything so you don't catch your knuckle. And it's got this zoom ring, which is very, very easy to use. Or it'll be easier to use when it's mounted on the spindle, but fantastic. This is M33 threaded, direct threaded for my lathe. That's for the key. That's a great bit of kit. Pop that to one side, have a look what else is in the box. Chuck key, it's a nice design. This is the release for the chuck jaws, a quick release. And we've got a couple of spare grub screws and a spacer sort of washer for putting on to stop the chuck jamming onto the spindle. There's also 2 spare springs there for the chuck jaw holders. Well, the grub screws are for fixing it to the spindle, so if you want to use it in reverse for sanding. But this ring's a nice touch, I like that idea. Having got things caught before and had a job to get chucks off the spindle, let's put those to one side. Well, there's to release the jaws, just press that and out they pop. Simple as that. So you just got a little catch there. And push that back in. Brilliant idea, really good. Have a look at these other jaws. I won't get them all out yet, but let's have a look at these these first. So these are the 1 3/8 easy reach dovetail jaws, and got nice grips inside, dovetail inside and out on the edge, all rounded off, very nicely finished. Let's change one of these jaws over. So pop one out and pop one in. It's that quick. That ring at the doorbell was this. Bowl blanks from Yandles, which I'd ordered. These are all for my Makers Central demonstrations, hopefully. There you go. They're all from Yandles. Yandles are based here in the UK in Martock in Somerset. And if you're ever down that way, pop in and see it. Great shop. Have a look at these half inch easy reach dovetail jaws. Look at those. Perfect. I've got an upcoming project where these will be absolutely ideal, absolutely perfect for what I've got planned. Those are great. Three and a half inch easy stepped dovetail jaws. Well, look at those. They're a serious bit of kit. Quite a weight of metal there. If you look from the side, you can see the step with a dovetail at the top and dovetail, dovetail, dovetail. So you've got multiple options there for sizing your tenons. That'll be very useful. We'd better have a look at the big easies, hadn't we? "16" big easy. So you got your bag of rubber spigots for holding the work onto the jaws. Then we've got the easy chuck fixings and the machine screws for fixing on the big easy plates. There we go. And of course the necessary tools you need. Once again, all rounded off, beautifully machined. I won't set them up yet because I've got rather a lot on. We've got Makers Central coming up and I've got a few things to do, but what I'll do is I'll demonstrate these in a future video. I'll set them up properly. And we better have a look at these jaw extensions. I will be getting the bed extension for my lathe at some point, which will mean I can turn some larger pieces off the end of the lathe. And these will certainly come in very useful. So it's got the instructions, machine screws, and these are the extensions. There we go. And these bolt onto the edges of the big easy jaws and give you a huge swing. 20 inches. well, they expand up to 19.5 inches, grips up to 18 inches. That's very impressive. But once again, beautifully finished. Really nice. There's something else I will be looking forward to using. Going back to the 1 3/8 Easy Reach dovetail jaws. These have arrived just in the nick of time, because I've got a project I'm doing right now, or this morning hopefully, that is the Makers Central chess piece for the Makers Central auction. Here's the blank, and I've made it out of Milliput, and I'll be showing you in this video how I made the blank. But that's all rock hard. It's been set for a few days now. But these jaws will be ideal for fixing that and holding it away from the chuck while I turn it, because I'm going to be turning a pawn chess piece ready for the charity auction. But yeah, arrived in the nick of time. Talking of Makers Central, Easy Wood Tools are going to be there, and I will be on their stand at some point during the show. But come along, have a look, and you can have a look at the quality of their tools. But they are going to be supplying in the UK. They already have some supplies with Amazon, but that will all be by the time Makers Central comes along. They should be easily purchased within the UK. But they're going to be there, and so are Milliput. And I will also be on the Milliput stand at some point during the show, or several points. And I will have quite a selection of my work to show you there, so you can have a look at what you can do with Milliput. Because the thing is with Milliput, it's quite tactile, a lot of the result, and you can't really get the full idea from my videos. You know, it's nice to actually see the pieces that I've made. And another thing for Makers Central, coming up, don't forget, 5th and 6th of May, only just round the corner now, the NEC in Birmingham. But the other thing is the big charity raffle. I'm going to be donating this piece, and this is a sycamore bowl with a full thickness Milliput, marbled Milliput inlay, goes right through, and I will be donating this piece to the raffle. So you buy a ticket, you've got a chance of winning it. And there we go. So there'll be several other pieces similar to this which you can have a look at the show. For this project I'm using 3 colours of Milliput: superfine white, black and terracotta. And have a look at my previous videos for details on Milliput. But it's an epoxy putty. Comes in 2 parts, as most epoxies do. You cut off equal lengths and knead it and mix it. You've got to be very, very thorough. Do it for a good 5 minutes. Roll it and fold it and knead it. Mix the colours separately for this. Flatten them out, rolling pin and baking parchment. I've got all three colours mixed here. Then I'm layering them, rolling them again to make them thinner. Then cutting it, layering those together, rolling them, and then putting them back together again. So really have got multiple layers now, and they're quite thin. Cutting it into strips, and then I'm zigzagging these and folding them around a Milliput core that I already had. You don't need a core though, you could just build it up on its own. But here I'm sort of zigzagging it and then moulding it around and around. Doing it this way ensures a nice broken pattern, lots of variation. If you don't do it this way, you can end up with large blocks of colour which can spoil the result. I'm mounting the blank between steb centres here. And I'm using my Easy Wood Tools Easy Rougher to bring it to round. The tungsten carbide tools work brilliantly on Milliput, but most tools cut it very nicely. There's no grain to worry about. But it was a perfect tool for this job. Here you can see the pattern emerging. The outside always looks a bit smeared and blocky, but as you cut in you can see the pattern. Now I'm just creating a tenon on the end. Time to install the Easy Chuck. So first of all we put on the spacer, and then on goes the Easy Chuck. There we go. Lovely. That's the Easy Chuck installed with the zoom ring. I've got to change the jaws ready for my next project, so let's see if we can beat Mike Walt's 25 seconds. It's not a fair comparison at the minute because there's far too much sawdust about. Mike's workshop's pristine, so hold on 1 minute. Here we go. Ready, steady. How about that? I'm now mounting the blank into the chuck jaws, into the Easy Chuck, using the tenon I made, and I'm tightening it up using the key, bringing up the tool rest. I'm then starting to shape using my Easy Wood Tools Easy Rougher and a spindle gouge. Just rubbing the bevel. But Milliput does turn very nicely because there's no grain to it, and it's quite satisfying to do, although a bit messy as you can see. Make sure you're wearing a respirator and your visor. Just working it and working it until I get the shape I want. A bit rusty at this point, haven't used the lathe for quite a long time. I've switched over here to my Robert-Sorby spindle gouge. It's got a nice fine bevel on that, so I can get in, do the detail. I'm experimenting a bit here. I'm not sure really what I'm aiming for, but having a bit of fun as well, which is what it's all about. Doing beads and coves really, and here I'm using the Easy Finisher, which is the round-headed tungsten tool from Easy Wood Tools. Looking good. Just cutting back a bit more and creating the base or the foot. More work on the top. I made several changes to this as I went. It's one of those jobs where I'm never sure if I've done it right really. I kept changing my mind about the shape and the design. But it's starting to take form now. That was the Easy Detailer. Back to spindle gouge. Then cutting away the base, ready for parting off. A bit of sanding, and then Yorkshire Grit time, my favourite bit. This is where the colours really pop. So you put the grit on when the lathe's stationary, and then you work it, and it gets finer and finer, and you get really high polish on it. As you can see, the colours are really showing now. The blacks become black, and then over to some burnishing cream, Chestnut Products burnishing cream. And that just gives it the final polish. It didn't really add much to this project, but sometimes it does. All nice and shiny. Now to put my maker's mark in. When I parted it off, I created a hollow. And I'm just using a bit of terracotta Milliput here and squidging it into the bottom of the chest piece. Just smoothing it all down. Then I'm using my brass stamp and I'm just pressing this into the Milliput. I had to do a couple of attempts at this. I got Milliput all stuck to the brass and all sorts of things and misaligned it, so that one worked. Came out nicely. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, share and subscribe. It all helps me. It costs nothing to subscribe and you'll be notified when I put out any future videos. There's a few shots of the pawn, including my logo in the bottom. And there's Neville holding the pawn. And Neville having a moan about his PPE. Milliput, Easy Wood Tools and myself will all be at Makers Central. Hope to see you there.
Yay! It's nearly time for Maker Central!
And as my little Mia says, Makers Central is very soon. Next week, in fact, 5th and 6th of May. I'll put all the details in the description, including the website where you can get tickets.